everyone, it's Jordan, and today I'm going to be doing the rapid fire book tag. I was tagged by Hannah from, I forgot her channel's name, but I'll link her video down below as well as the original video down below. I don't know what the point of this tag, but let's just get started. The first question is ebooks or physical books? I mostly go for physical books, but if I'm traveling, I use ebooks. Next question is paperbacks or hardcovers? For me, it all depends. I mean, I prefer hardcovers just so it doesn't break the spine like the paperback does, but I love the floppy paperback, so I'm 50-50 right now. The third question is online or in-store shopping. I mostly shop my books online because they're cheaper, but I still go to Barnes & Noble when I go to there, so I'm also 50-50 on online book shopping and in-store shopping. The fourth question is trilogies or series. There's so many books that turn into trilogies. I'm like, I want more. So, I mean, it all depends on the book series. Some of them I keep thinking as a trilogy, but I prefer a series at this point because there's too many books that I love that are turned into trilogies. And I was like, I want more. The fifth question is heroes or villains. That's pretty tricky because I love reading books about heroes, but I mean, if it's showing a villain's perspective, I actually like that. But I would have to go for heroes because it's like anybody's probably go-to answer. But if it's a book that's told by a villain's perspective, I definitely would read that. So still 50-50. The sixth question is a book that you want everybody to read. My go-to answer would be Harry Potter or The Hunger Games, but at the moment, I picked A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin because it's like Harry Potter, but it's been published like 20 years before it was published, and plus the author passed away recently, and I think everybody should read A Wizard of Earthsea because I definitely enjoy this book, and I know that it's going to be a book that everybody should read because not a lot of people talk about it because it's such one of the underrated books that I read. Speaking of underrated books, recommend a book, an underrated book. I don't know if anybody on BookTube has talked about this book, which is Everland by Wendy Spinelli, because it's a Peter Pan retelling and it's just turned into a trilogy. And I don't see a lot of people talk about this book at all, so I'm like, this is definitely underrated books that I've read, even though I have other books that are underrated on my shelves, but this is my go-to underrated book to recommend. The last book you've finished. I finished The Amazing Spider-Man, Brave New Day. This is the first comic book that I actually read through without skimming through like I did with Batman, but I read this within an hour and I loved it, and it's technically 5 comic books in one, and I wish Goodreads had them in like 5 in 1 comic book. I wish Goodreads had like this book instead of me saying that I've read 5 of the comic books that are in this one, but they still count as 5 books, so I was like, okay, I'll count them as 5 books that I've read, but I definitely enjoy it. So this is actually my first time reading a comic book, but I skimmed through Batman because I don't enjoy Batman, but I've read it for a class, but I read this a few days ago and I definitely enjoyed it. The last book you've bought. I technically didn't buy this book, my grandma kind of bought it for me, which is Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. This is going to be the next movie for Hercule Poirot's Mysteries. The first one is Miranda Orange Express, which I really enjoyed, and that one was a quick read. Hopefully, I definitely will enjoy it as much as I enjoy Miranda Orange Express. The weirdest thing that you use as a bookmark. I usually use receipts as bookmarks sometimes, but the weirdest one, I actually use my phone as a bookmark because if I'm like in the middle of something, I usually just put my phone in my book for like a few minutes and then I get back into my book. So I've used my phone. That is the weirdest thing that I've used as a bookmark. So use books, yes or no? It all depends on the book, but I usually tend to use used books for my classes in college, but like I go to Half Price Books a lot, and I've seen a lot of books that are like a little worn out, but as long as it doesn't ruin the book, I'm okay with it. So yeah, that's a yes to this question. Your top 3 favorite genres: fantasy, romance, and mystery or science fiction. They're both tied as of right now. Borrow or buy? I've been buying books a lot, but now since I'm like in a big book buying ban, I decided to go to a library this summer, which is actually helping because I'm reading it so I can save up on money, and if there's a book that I end up liking from the library, I can always add it to my wish list because my birthday is coming up in a couple of months, so I might end up putting it in my birthday list, but I might end up buying it right away. But if there was a book that I've read in a library that I didn't like, I don't have to worry about buying it. So, yeah. I'm going for borrowing as of right now. Characters or plot? That's a really tricky question because I tend to end up enjoying books because of the characters, not because of the plot. So, the answer is characters, because I love enjoying stories to have strong characters in the books. Long or short books? It all depends on my mood. Like, if I end up, like, reading so many long books, then I go to short books. If I'm, like, up to a point that I'm starting to get into a reading slump, I end up reading shorter books, so I might end up going for shorter books if I end up in a reading slump. But I would end up going to long books depending on my mood, so my answer as of right now is short books. Long or short chapters? I honestly like shorter chapters because I can get through the book faster, just because I feel like the longer the chapter it is, the more it drags for me to end up liking the book, so I'm team short chapters. Name the first 3 books you can think of: Peter Pan, Harry Potter, and Daughter of the Pirate King. Books that makes you laugh or cry. I honestly go to books that would make me laugh more because I honestly hate crying just because, like, I don't want sympathy from a lot of people that are like, oh, what's wrong? And then they would say, oh, I'm crying because of the book, and they would just walk away. But I just don't like crying in front of people, and when I cry, I tend to want to be alone. So I'd rather read books that makes me laugh, just because so people around me would see me smiling and laughing, even though there may be like, why are you laughing? And then, oh, she's bringing a book because it's funny when some people might think it's stupid, but that's my answer. I want to read books that makes me laugh. Our world or fictional world? My go-to answer is fictional world, just because, like, there's just so much drama all around in our world, so I'm like, as of right now, I just pick fictional worlds because I'm like, I just can't handle the drama that's going around lately. So if I go in a fictional world, I would go to a fictional world. If Kevin wants to go to a fictional world, he would go to a fictional world with me. So yeah. Audiobooks, yes or no? I say yes because it helps me get through reading a lot faster, especially like if I don't have a physical book with me, I can listen to an audiobook, and that actually have helped me a lot with my reading. That's why I've been like more than halfway through my reading goal for this year, and it's crazy that I'm at like at least 35 books out of the 50 books in my reading challenge. So yeah, yes to audiobooks. Book by its cover. How much I don't want to admit it, I do judge a book by its cover. It's just like if there's a title of the book but I don't like the graphic design on the book cover, then I'm like, ugh, I don't want to read this book. But for me, when I want to read a book, I have like 3 rules. If on the 2 out of 3 things, cover, title, and synopsis grab my interest, I would buy it. But if 1 out of 3 saying only the title grabs my interest but not the cover and the synopsis, then it's no go for me. But if there's 2 out of 3, like the cover and the title grabs my interest, then I would buy it. So yeah, that's the weirdest rule for me to buy a book, but that's just a rule for me. So I do judge a book by its cover, no matter how much I don't want to admit it. Book to movie or book to TV show adaptations. It all depends. Like if there's a book to movie adaptation that I enjoyed, but then the second one doesn't do as well, then I'm like, it's better off as a TV show. So, like for me, like when I first read Everland, I picture it more as a TV show than a movie, which is really weird to me because when I read books, I mostly picture them as movies, not TV shows. But when I've read Everland, I picture it as a TV show because it's told by the protagonist and the antagonist point of view. So I was like, I kind of enjoy that because of it. So yeah, I'm 50-50 on that one. A movie or TV show you preferred over its book. I have to say, like, there are like 2 answers to this one because I've seen the movies before I've read the books, which is A Walk to Remember and The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. I like the movies more than the books, but I still enjoy the books because for me, I'm 50-50 when it comes to book to movie adaptations. As long as they don't cut out the important stuff from the book, then I'm okay with it. But it's just hard for me to explain like those 2 that I prefer in the movies over the books. But it's just, I just prefer the movies better, like, but they're still some of my favorite Nicholas Sparks books, but I still read the books, but even though I prefer the movies more. And now, the last question is, series or standalones? It all depends on my mood. Like, if I want to read a series, then I would read a series. And if I prefer reading a standalone at the moment, then I would read a standalone. So, I'm 50-50 for that too. I know a lot of the questions that I've answered, I'm 50-50 on, but it's hard for me to choose one or the other, so, yeah. So that's all for the rapid fire book tag. The people I'm going to be tagging will be linked down below because I can't think of who I want to tag to this point. But if you're enjoying this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below whether you prefer trilogies or series, because I'm curious, because I'm kind of sick of books turning into trilogies when I want more from that world, especially when it's the books that I enjoy. And if you want to follow me on social media, I have Facebook under Lost Reader, and I have Twitter and Instagram on Lost Reader 19, and I have Goodreads, so link it down below and see how far I'm in my reading challenge, even though I already mentioned I'm about 35 books over 50. And if you don't want to miss any of my new videos, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!